One absolutely wild run they went
Right.
on
They
last
came out
year.
of
Like,
nowhere to do that. Like, I'm pretty sure that's all Kevin O'Connell.
The
your
Minnesota
thoughts?
Vikings. What to say about the Minnesota Vikings? Everybody knows about Justin Jefferson, arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL, maybe the best offensive weapon in the NFL. But other than that, who do they really have? I know they went out and got Jordan Addison and a couple other receivers. They're all question marks. That you don't know what's going to happen with these guys. They could really succeed. Who knows? The same with like players like TJ Hawkinson and Alex Madison. Can they do it this year? Can they carry the team on their shoulders as well? Um, we'll see. We'll see. I like the Vikings a lot. I think they got a lot of promise. As a lot of the weight falls on Kirk Cousins' shoulders, though. He's got to be able to take that team in the playoffs deep. He's got to be a winning quarterback in the NFL. Defensively, I think they're really interesting. I think they're starting to age, but they got a lot of decent players. I really like this guy, Andrew Booth. I think he was hurt all last year, basically. He was, I think, their second round pick.
Yeah,
And I think he's going to come out and have a big year for them. Justin, what do you think?
yeah. So I mean, I think you got it pretty good there. Yeah, the Vikings offense. I like their offense a lot actually. Like Kirk Cousins actually played at a pretty high level last year. He played super good. Obviously, having Justin Jefferson at your disposal always helps that.
Right.
Jordan Addison, I think, is an upgrade over what was kind of an aging Adam Thielen at the second receiver spot. KJ Osborne's decent. TJ Hawkinson, when he got involved late in the year, like he went off some games. There's some games where he was literally unstoppable, kind of showing a lot of what we thought he could do because he had a lot of potential, but wasn't always consistent. Now he is. Alexander Madison, he's stepping into the RB1 role. He's performed very good when Dalvin Cook gets hurt. Is he ready to take that on full time? There's really no one behind him, so he better.
Yeah.
The offensive line, they get all five of their starters back. I feel like that's going to help. They were all guys that kind of had good moments. They also had bad moments. There are times where they didn't protect Kirk well enough. Again, this offense has to be good though, because honestly, I think their defense stinks. They don't really have anyone to really provide a good pass rush outside of Daniil Hunter. If he doesn't get traded, he was kind of not
He just
happy
got a
there for a
contract.
little
He's
bit.
not getting traded.
Yeah. Okay. He's going to stick around at least, but they lost Dalvin Tomlinson up front. Zadarius Smith is gone. They don't really. I'm worried that they don't really have a solid replacement there. Eric Kendricks is no longer manning the middle, and this secondary, like they've struggled so much lately. They signed Byron Murphy. He's going to help out a lot, but
Old.
these these young guys though, these young guys like they spent a lot of draft picks on them. None of them have been panning out so far. Is a guy like Andrew Booth or one of these other guys going to step up and give them a good spot, good person at corner? I do like their safeties, especially Harrison Smith. He's still playing at a high level, even though he's 34. But really, it's all about the defense. This defense could sink them if they don't improve. Matt?
Offensively, you guys nailed it on the head. Um, they have the best receiver in the NFL, Justin Jefferson. Jordan Addison was regarded by many as the best wide receiver prospect in the draft. KJ Osborne is 34 in a lot of offenses, which is kind of where he's at in this. So he's kind of going to play to his expected level. Their offensive line has a lot of promise, a lot of young guys, but none of them have really lived up to expectations yet. Christian Darrisaw was supposed to be a stud left tackle, and he hasn't really done much. Ezra Cleveland was supposed to be a really good guard, and he's just kind of a in the way kind of guy. Um, Kirk Cousins is going to have to carry this offense. Not the position that you want to necessarily be in, but he played really well last year with Kevin O'Connell, and I think Kevin O'Connell has a firm grasp on this offense and makes it what it is. their biggest addition isn't anybody on their roster. Their biggest addition is Brian Flores. I really think that he's going to turn this defense around, despite not having a whole lot to work with. Harrison Smith is anchoring the secondary and really anchoring the whole defense. They added Marcus Davenport, Jordan Hicks. They still have Daniil Hunter. They don't really have anyone outside of that. So they have a lot of holes in their defense. But Brian Flores seems poised to be able to take this team to where it needs to go. But they don't really impress me. They don't look like they're going to run 11-0 to start the season.
One absolutely wild run they went on last year.
They came out of nowhere to do that. Like, I'm pretty sure that's all Kevin O'Connell. I think that's why Kirk Cousins is going to be like a top 10 quarterback this year.
They won a lot of games in crazy fashion. We'll see if they can keep that part up because, yeah, it was a lot of one-score wins. But I just want to take a moment to mention here, how about, like, how we're talking about Kirk Cousins now? Like, I feel like we've all kind of turned the page on him because the last couple of years, I think we've been kind of rough on him. And this year, I felt like he played well last year, and we all seem to agree on that.
I think part of that is coaching staff. I mean, when you look at it, he played extremely well in Washington when he had that absolutely loaded coaching.
Like that.
And RG3 went down. He came in and performed very well. Minnesota traded for him, or he signed free agency, whatever. And then the coaching staff really wasn't offense oriented. They were defense oriented. So they just needed someone who could throw 175 yards or so. And that was him, but he also didn't get along with Mike Zimmer at all. Now that they have an offensive oriented coach, he looks really good.
Yeah, absolutely.
They are going to miss Dalvin Cook. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, it's good. That's like my biggest concern is like, how do you replace a bell cow like that? I know he hasn't produced in the last 2 years like he normally has, but it's still Dalvin Cook, man. That's a big hole to fill.